So today we're going to be doing trig, and the trig is basically a study of how to determine the lengths and angles of a triangle. All right. So we're going to be using trigonometric ratios, and so I am going to help you figure out how to do this. All right. So let's say we have a triangle. All right. Let's say we're looking at angle A. I'm gonna highlight or arc angle A. Now, the hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse in a right triangle. It's always the hypotenuse in the right triangle. The only angles that we can super be concerned about here are angle A and angle B, because for sure we know that angle C is 90 degrees. It's always opposite the hypotenuse. Now for angle A, the side opposite angle A is little a. This is opposite. This is opposite angle A. Now the side that's adjacent to angle A is little b. It's right along there. It's the only one. It's adjacent. It runs along the side of angle A. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Since each acute angle of the right triangle has the following trigonometric ratios. So for angle A, the sine, we're going to go down and do the sine, the cosine, and the tangent. The sine of angle A is the ratio of the leg opposite over the hypotenuse. So O over H is our designation for finding using the sine function. So A, the letter A, little b equals the letter A over C. So my ratio is A over C. Now for cosine, I have the sine, the leg adjacent over H. So for cosine A, I have B divided by C. For tangent, I have the opposite over adjacent. Here my opposite is A, my adjacent is B. So I have A over B. Now, what about the cosine? So now, we're going to change some things here. The hypotenuse stays the same. However, what doesn't stay the same is we're looking at the angle B now. We're looking at angle B. So I'm going to put my little arc mark down here. And if I go and look, the side adjacent is right down here. It's right down here. The side adjacent to angle B is down here. The side that's opposite angle B is B. This is opposite. This is adjacent. Okay? So let's put a little A here. I'm going to put an A for adjacent. And this is O over A. Okay? So for the sine of B, opposite over hypotenuse, I would have B over little b over H. Little b over H. The cosine of B, the A over C, or little a over, I didn't mean to put H, I meant to put C. I'm sorry. So the cosine of B is little a over C, little a over C, and the tangent of B is B over A. A little bit confusing right now. That's okay. Now, remember, these are things you can remember. The sine of an angle is O over H. The cosine of an angle is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. The tangent of an angle is the opposite over adjacent. And things I want you to remember. O stands for opposites. A stands for adjacent. H stands for hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Okay? Now, so for the sine of A, that means I'm going to have O over H right here, O over H, for the sine of A and the sine of C. So first of all, just looking at A, opposite angle, opposite side is 5. My hypotenuse is 13. This is my adjacent. Okay? So O over H for the sine of A is 5 over 13. Now, cosine, I know it's adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent, I know it's opposite over adjacent, right? So let's look at the cosine of A. Cosine of A is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 12 over 13. The tangent of A is 5 over 12. Okay. Now, if you got lost, we're going to redo this, except we're going to start with angle C. Because we want to get the sine, cosine, tangent, cosine, angle C. So here's C. And I'm going to highlight this time. So, the opposite angle is right here. Adjacent's right here, and my hypotenuse is right there. So I'm going to label them. Here's the opposite, here's adjacent, here's the hypotenuse. So O over H is 12 over 13. Cosine A over H is 5 over 13. Tangent is O over A, so 12 over 5. If you look, they're reciprocals. Opposite angles have the reciprocals of their measures. So go ahead, do the rest of those. You are going to have to use Pythagorean theorem. So you will have to go back to page 1 to figure out all the sides. Number 2, you're missing the hypotenuse. Use the Pythagorean theorem to get the other side, and you'll be done.